Hello, guys, this is Anthony, and we have been discussing mostly about budgeting. And I remember we were discussing about budgeting rule, and we also talked about if insurances can be included in our budget, and also we talked about some stream of extra money that we can involve in as Christian. And today I prepared a very good content, and this content is very important that will help us also to maintain or to stick on our budget. So please subscribe to this channel. As you subscribe, then you'll be supporting what we do, and I believe that God will bless you because the intention or the objective of what I'm doing is to help us Christian so that whatever we get, even if it is little, we can budget it to the extent that is going to help us and also put something small for our emergency saving or even saving for our future, because at the end of the day also we need also to have a good life when we are living here on earth and support the mission and also support God's work, because the God intent is for us to maintain fellowship and also to support his work. Anyway, thank you very much for coming to this channel. So today we want to discuss about very important thing, as I've said, and this is how to stick to your budget. I know there are so many ways that maybe you have learned from the YouTube or you have learned from many other books how to maintain or to stick on your budget. But it is something that is very hard and it's really affecting most of us. Even for me, I can say that it used to really affect me to stick on the budget, and because there are a lot of things that comes on your eyes and you find yourself you cannot control, and at the end you find yourself maybe buying them, or if not buying them you find yourself giving, and you give to the extent that at the end you find yourself having nothing completely that can help you and your family and also the people who are closer to you. So today we want us to learn how we should stick to our budget, because from time I've learned a lot. Like for example, every year the country they do prepare a budget. The state they prepare the budget, and even the county they come up with the budget. And once they come up with the budget, remember they even go to the parliament or they go to the council, and then they have to discuss about it to see if this budget is really in realistic or is not realistic. So one of the things for us to know, we need to make sure that whatever we prepare should be realistic, so that we don't ended up coming up with some budget that we know very sure that is not realistic to the income that we get. So we have to keep realistic if we want to succeed, because any realistic budget, at the end of the day you're going to achieve everything. But if it is unrealistic, it's very hard for you to succeed or to utilize whatever you have, because at the end of the day you'll consume everything. Yeah, so as Christian we have to make sure that we come up with a realistic budget that is going to help us. So I know many of us have ever made a goal in life that was totally maybe setting us into failure, because maybe we are promising ourselves that, oh, this year I want to make 20 miles every day, but at the end of the day you find yourself that you cannot, because even you have not even walked ever 5 miles away. So it's something that you have to learn gradually. So one of the things that we have to understand, and is very important when we want to stick on our budget, is you have to understand the money that you get. So money, it's everything. So once you get the money, you have to make sure that you budget every dollar or every shillings you get. So when you can be able to budget every money or every dollar you get, then every time you try to test yourself to spend better and also to save more. So once you do that, then at the end of the day you'll find yourself that you can be able to at the end of the month you'll be able to have something that can really help you, maybe to put in the saving. So sometimes we tend to buy things that we know we have. Like for example, I have iPhone 8 Plus, and I've used this phone for almost 4 years. But I have some of my friends whom we bought the phone with. But when the another model of iPhone came, iPhone 13 Plus, they went in to buy the iPhone 13 Plus, and they took they sold the iPhone Plus. But in this case, is I'm not saying that we are not supposed maybe to go with what is coming in the market, but if maybe you have a lot of money, then you can go for that. But if you know that your status of the income is still remain the same, then it's better to continue to maintain on what you have, because at the end of the day, the key things here is communication. Are you communicating? Are you able to take pictures? Are you able to take video? Are you able to do anything? So at the end of the day, we need to make sure to be very keen in terms of what we buy. So every dollar you get or every shillings you get, you have to be very careful about it. So for us as Christians, if we can maintain that, then at the end, when we keep real, then we will really win. The second thing that we need to do when we want to stick on our budget, also we have to set up our auto draft. For example, sometimes for example, when I talk about setting up the auto draft, I mean that in most things that we know we have to pay, it's better for you to set up the automatic deduction from your bank account, so that they deduct directly from your paycheck. So when they deduct directly from your paycheck, so at the end of the day, you will not even touch that money, because sometimes some of us, maybe we have weakness in terms of whatever. When we have money, then we find ourselves buying everything that comes on our eyes. Another thing that we have to do if we want to stick on our budget is plan your meal. When I talk about planning your meal, is if you know that you're going to work tomorrow, or if you know that you are going somewhere, and you can, like for example, if you know that you like taking coffee, especially at work office, then you better go and buy the coffee, prepare coffee for yourself, and also that will help you, so that you don't go and maybe spend a lot of money in buying the coffee that is already prepared. And also lunch, you can also carry your own lunch box. You can buy a lunch box and also keep your lunch and go with it. So I'm not saying that you're not supposed to buy also food, or also buy coffee from the restaurant, but what I say is we have to plan our meal. Because this reminds me, when I remember, I think it's 2 years ago, I wanted to build my mom house, and also wanted to build my house back home in Busia. So I sat down and I was thinking how I should do this, because every time I could go to work, I could buy a lunch at workplace, because I didn't want to carry my own packed lunch. So I had to go to somewhere to buy food, and also I could buy coffee every time I drive to work. And when I used to do that, that really could take a lot of my money. And also sometimes when I wanted to shave, I used to go to the barber shop, which is not a bad thing, to go to the barber shop to cut your maybe to cut your hair. But I came to realize that this is the things that I should cut off from my budget, so that I can still buy the machine from the store, and also prepare my own packed food, because I had intention that that $10 every time that I use, I can keep it somewhere and still do something that I can see that I've done something. So that's why I'm saying we have to plan our meal. That's one of the things of the ways that we can help ourselves to stick to our budgets. And then we have also to think weekly. When you talk about thinking weekly, I mean that you may want to break some of your budget lines into weekly portions. For example, I've just realized that I have the two cars, and one of the car it takes like 40 $40 of the gas, and another one takes like $50 of a gas. So I know that that is every week. So I've realized that I know that after every 2 weeks I have like 80, and I have the other one I have 100. So I need, for the 2 weeks, I need one 200, approximately $200, that will help me to budget. So I do budget that prior, so that at the end of the day it doesn't make me to go to maybe my saving, or go to the money that I had put aside to start putting again for the gas, because still I want to go to work. So if you plan, you think weekly, it's going to be very important. And another thing, that if you want to stick on your budget, for us as Christians, we also need to make sure that we check our social calendar, because at the end of we are social creatures. God has created us to be social creatures. We have to socialize with others, because I remember those days when I used to have meetings in the UN offices. Most of the time we had a happy hour, which could be every Friday, and that every Friday people go to party, and or maybe enjoy yourself. But at the end, you have to buy the refreshment. You have to buy those things, the drinks. You have to you pay for tickets and many other things. And at the end of the day, you find yourself maybe consuming even things that you had not budgeted for. But if you have a lot of money, then you can also, when you're budgeting, you have to put all that money aside, so that it remove you from the temptation of going to get money from where you had stored, you had maybe you had saved. Yeah, so check your social status. And then another thing that you have to know is you have to learn to say no. Because I remember when I first came here in United States, and I could not say no, mostly because of the friends that I used to have around me. Most of the times when they tell us, oh, today we are going to New York, then you say yes, and then you have to drive to New York. You have to put gas in your car, and also the mileage in your car. Sometimes you have to hire a car. So at the end of the day, you find yourself even going deeper to the money that you have. So what I want to tell us, we as Christians, if we plan ourselves very well, then we can stick to the budget. So you have to learn to say no. You have to say no to sometimes you have to look at before someone, maybe someone is asking you to do something. You have to learn to say no. Also, you have to look at why the things need to be done, because some things, maybe someone needs something only for leisure, but if it's something that you know it's life and death, then at the end of the day you can find yourself, maybe you have to also try to avoid credits or a lot of loans if you want to stick on your budget, so that at the end of the day you don't really spend a lot of money in giving to the credit card or any other thing. Something that has also helped me is also I try to get friends who know how to do some accounting. And so as us as Christians, we know in the churches we have people who have studied accounting, who can advise us, who can try to guide us in terms of what the income that we get, what we should get involved in, so that we don't at the end spend a lot of what we have to buy things that maybe it's not going to be very important. But above all, what we have discussed is we have to know that we need to stick on our budget, and it's something that is very hard. But with prayers, and when we trust in God, God will always help us to stick on our budget, so that at the end of the day, whatever the goal that we want to achieve in our life, then we shall achieve. Anyway, thank you very much. God bless you. This is Anthony. Please continue watching, and also you can share to some of your friends. I know so many people are struggling in terms of sticking to their budget, and maybe a small wisdom that I've shared, it can be very important, and it can help them also, so that they can stick on their budget and help them to do a lot. And remember also to subscribe if you want to support me. Thank you. God bless you.